At 12 years old, Emma Parker had already learned what it felt like to be doubted, laughed at, and dismissed. She sat quietly at the back of her middle school classroom, her hands folded tightly in her lap, while whispers floated around her like sharp little knives. "She's lying again," one boy snickered. "Her mom's not a Navy SEAL. Women can't even be SEALs," another chimed in. "Emma just wants attention." Emma lowered her gaze, heat rushing to her cheeks. She hadn't even meant to bring it up. The teacher had asked everyone to share something special about their family, and while others bragged about dads who were doctors or moms who ran businesses, Emma had said, softly, honestly, that her mom was a Navy SEAL. The silence had been immediate, then shattered by laughter. Emma had wanted to swallow her words whole. Her mother, Sarah Parker, had never told her to keep it secret, but she had always said, "Most people won't understand, Em. They'll doubt what they don't see." Emma thought maybe her mom was right. But the truth was, Sarah was everything Emma had said and more. A decorated SEAL, one of the few women to have ever made it through the brutal training, Sarah lived her life in quiet service. When she was home, she wasn't a soldier. She was Mom. The woman who burned pancakes on Saturdays, taught Emma how to braid her hair, and tucked her in every night with a whispered, "You're braver than you know." Still, that didn't matter to Emma's classmates. One afternoon, things boiled over. At lunch, a group of kids cornered her at the cafeteria table. "Hey, SEAL girl," one boy mocked, making swimming motions with his arms. "Tell us another story about your super mom." Emma's chest tightened. "I'm not lying. Prove it," another challenge. "Where's her uniform? Where's her team? You just make stuff up because you don't have a dad." The words stung. Emma bit her lip so hard it bled. That evening, she sat on her bed, trying to fight back tears. When her mom walked in, she tried to hide her face, but Sarah noticed instantly. "Who do I need to talk to?" her mother asked softly, kneeling by the bed. "No one," Emma whispered. They don't believe you're real. They think I make you up." For the first time in a long while, Emma saw something flicker in her mother's eyes. Not anger, something steadier, resolve. The next day, during a school assembly, the double doors at the back of the gym swung open with a thud that echoed off the walls. Every head turned. Marching in formation, clad in their desert tan uniforms, was an entire Navy SEAL unit. At the front was Sarah, her presence commanding but calm. The teachers froze. The students stopped whispering. Even the principal seemed struck speechless. Sarah's voice carried clear and steady as she addressed the crowd. "Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Commander Sarah Parker. My daughter, Emma, told the truth. She should never have had to prove it." The unit behind her stood like steel, silent but undeniable. The gym was so quiet you could hear sneakers squeak against the floor. The same kids who had mocked Emma now sat wide-eyed, their faces pale with disbelief. One of the boys who had teased her the most looked down at his shoes, shame flooding his cheeks. Sarah glanced at Emma and gave the faintest smile before turning back to the crowd. "Being a SEAL is about service, sacrifice, and trust. But more than anything, it's about courage, the courage to stand for what's true, even when no one believes you." Emma felt her throat tighten. She wasn't invisible anymore. She wasn't the weird girl making up stories. She was the daughter of someone extraordinary. The unit saluted as they turned to leave, the gym still hushed in stunned silence. Emma's classmates didn't laugh anymore. They didn't whisper. For the first time, they looked at her with something new in their eyes. Respect. And Emma sat a little taller, her heart beating with a pride she'd always known was real.